So yeah, let's get into some climate change news. And let's go back to where is the article I want to read. So we're going to go back to this article. U.S. formally exits global climate pact amid election uncertainty. The United States formally exited the Paris Agreement on Wednesday, fulfilling an old promise by President Donald Trump to withdraw the world's second largest greenhouse gas emitter from the global pact to fight climate change. The outcome of the tight U.S. election contest will determine for how long Trump's Democratic rival Joe Biden has promised to rejoin the agreement if elected. Again, many people, including James Hansen, has spoke on the ineffectiveness of the pact. So it's largely symbolic. Our being in or out of the Paris Accord is largely symbolic. Guys, I don't know why I'm buffering, but I shouldn't be. So, if we're in the climate accord, it makes everybody feel better. It makes us feel like, yeah, we're doing something. Somebody's doing something. Even if they're kind of not really doing much. The gesture, I guess, makes people feel better. And it allows people to feel like they don't have to worry about climate change anymore. I got a super chat from the Natural Progressive. Thank you. Check your email. Uphill Media wants you on as a guest. We have wildlife overpasses here in Nevada. Also better than not having them, I agree. Thank you. I will check my email. Thank you. Let's move on to... Well, we'll go back to this article on the wildlife overpass just very quickly. So this is good news for people who are concerned about wildlife, wilderness areas, and animals being able to do what they need to do. I wish I could get rid of this thing. I can't. A planned wildlife crossing across the 101 freeway between Agoura Hills and Calabasas will eventually be the largest of its kind in the world, scheduled to break ground in 2021, according to new plans released Wednesday. The crossing is being built to give wildlife a way to traverse the 101 freeway and avoid being struck by any of the hundreds of thousands of vehicles that pass through the area daily. That is an extremely busy freeway. Several mountain lions over the years have been struck and killed while trying to cross the region's freeways. It's something. It's a small thing, and it's something. Let's move on to Hurricane Eta. Hurricane Eta weakens to a tropical storm as it sets course toward U.S. Gulf Coast after slamming Nicaragua. Tropical storm Eta still has days of devastation in store for Central America, and after lingering there, the storm is set to move on to the U.S. coast. Eta is expected to re-strengthen when it hits water once again, but there is still uncertainty about the magnitude of intensity it will reach. So here is sorry about that. I don't know why I did that. Hold on, we'll go back here. This is the projected path. Hopefully you all are seeing that. But looking to go back into the Gulf of Mexico, the Caribbean Sea, across Cuba, possibly hitting Florida. Here is News about fossil fuel companies, U.S. oil producers on pace for most bankruptcies since last oil downturn. Cue the cheering. Yay! Oasis Petroleum Inc. and Lone Star Resources U.S. Inc.'s bankruptcy filings are the latest in a slew of restructurings that put oil and gas producers on track for their biggest year of bankruptcies since the 2016 shale turndown. So sorry, guys. As in, not very sorry. Greta Thunberg has an interview in the New York Times. I'm not going to, hold on. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but she says some interesting stuff in here. Again, she is closer to the truth on climate change than many and has a very big platform to speak said truth. Greta Thunberg, here's your excuses. She is not impressed. I'm trying to find a few things to pick out here to read. So what do you see as the stakes for the U.S. presidential election? Is it make or break ecological choice? She says, we can't predict what will happen. Maybe if Trump wins, that will be the spark that makes people angry enough to start protesting. Wow. Sounds like she's been watching this channel maybe. Angry enough to start protesting and really demanding things for the climate crisis. I think we can safely say that if Trump wins, it would threaten many things. But I'm not saying that Joe Biden is good or his policies are close to being enough. They are not. They are not. Go Greta Thunberg. So speaking truth on that. A second ago, you said Joe Biden's climate policies are not good enough. I get that his plan or the Green New Deal is insufficient in the face of how, according to most estimates, the United States is overspending its emissions against the global carbon budget. But these kinds of plans are being discussed in a serious way, which was not happening 5 years ago. Is it possible that the nature of democratic politics is such that changes might not come as quickly as they need to in order to keep us below certain thresholds of global warming? She says, when we say greener policies, what does green even mean? Green is a color. So when people say that we are going to invest in green investments, that can mean anything. The Green New Deal is very far from being enough, but as you said, it has changed the debate. It could be a small step in the right direction, and that's the way we have to communicate it, to say this is far from being enough, and then always show where we need to be. So, yeah, she gets it, and she's speaking on the truth of the realities of, you know, what this election and what these particular set of politics that we're entrenched in mean for the climate crisis. I think that's all I'm going to do. Read on that. If you guys want to find this and read the whole interview. Okay, so check this out. This is pretty surprising and amazing. This is tweeted out by Brian Kahn. Fox News voter analysis. How concerned about the effects of climate change are you? Fox News. So these are the crazy, wild-eyed, pinwheeled, stupid, jerky, whatever. All the very bad people who either watch Fox News or vote for Trump. How concerned about the effects of climate change are you? Very, 46%. Somewhat, 26%. The majority of Fox News viewers, and I don't know if we can assume that they're Trump voters, think that climate change is an issue, a serious issue. Interesting. Let's move on to another poll. Increasing government spending on green and renewable energy. 37% say they strongly favor. 33% somewhat favor. The majority of Fox News viewers are for. They favor increasing government spending on green and renewable energy. Interesting. It's almost like there's a disconnect between the masses and what they know and what they understand and the politicians that represent them. And I'm going to come back to this in a little bit because I have a good clip for you. Global North is responsible for 92% of excess emissions. I don't understand what excess emissions are necessarily. Are you saying some emissions are good or not excess and other emissions are bad and then considered excess? I don't really understand that. The United States and the European Union bear disproportionate liability for emitting to the atmospheric commons, new research argues. And that about wraps up the climate change news portion of this broadcast. Hey, there are many ways that you can support this channel: PayPal, Venmo, Square, Bitcoin, Ethereum. All the links are in the description box below. You can also support me on Patreon for as little as $1. I post all the live streams there, so you can watch the full live streams